useful for all kind of competitive exams. So let's come to the background. Yeah, friend, let's cover today some of the current affairs things, as we know that about that upcoming elections, about assembly elections. Okay, so this is supposed to happen. Okay, normally all the students who all are like preparing for any form of competitive exams, they should avoid things relevant to elections or any political things, the general things like election rallies or any speeches, okay, or any controversial things like which does not have any relevance with that structural part of the statistical portion. Okay, but if you find anything which has some issue relevant to the structural part, okay, structural part of any institution, then we need to approach that kind of news. Okay, so here in this upcoming election which is supposed to happen here, these are the states where the elections would take place, like Goa, Manipur, Uttarakhand, Punjab and Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so total 5 states are there. Okay, so those the Uttar Pradesh I think are more highlighted nowadays because of the Uttar Pradesh has more number of seats, like 403 seats are there. Okay, and these are the seats of these particular states. Okay, so now a kind of controversial thing is circulating. The thing is about about whom? About election commission. Okay, election commission. Okay, so so no, actually what happened that this thing came into news. Okay, this was the headline of this the Hindu news channel. Okay, newspaper. So here you can see the headlines: act now, recast the selection process of election commission. They are talking about the asking questions about the selection process of the election commission. This is the thing, means appointment of appointment of election commission. This is all about the story. Okay, but what here I would like to tell you the why this controversy got erupted, because what happened, like the chief election commission. Okay, here it is, just a moment. Yeah, here it is, the chief election commission and election commission's colleagues attended, they attended a meeting there, in a kind of informal meeting. Meeting with whom? With principal secretaries, just a moment. Okay, with principal secretaries of the Prime Minister. So this is the actual controversial issue, because as we know that whether you talk about principal secretaries, Prime Minister, or any chief minister, or president, vice president, any minister, okay, these all are executive body. Okay, and if you talk about that chief election commission or election commission, or these are separate body, separate autonomous body. So they are supposed to function separately and independently. And why these body has been created? To perform what? Free and fair, okay, election. Okay, but during this election time, if these bodies are meeting with principal secretaries, which is executive body of the Prime Minister, so definitely this would create a kind of question about that transparency of their functions and all. Okay, so here it is covered into the news paper, and they are asking they should they should maintain the distance from executive. Okay, so this is what the controversy is all about. Okay, so let's move to the next page. Okay, yeah, here I would like to explain here about the election commission. Election commission. Okay, election commission is a constitutional body. Why it is constitutional body? Because it is written there in the constitution under article 324. It is written, mentioned over there, from 324 to 29. So because it's mentioned in the constitution, that's why it's called constitutional body. But only mentioning is not enough. You need to make here in the next page. You can say that Parliament of India had enacted 2 acts Okay, you can see it's mentioned there clearly. Let me take another color because just a moment. Okay, yeah. Now, Parliament enacted 2 acts. First one is called what? Representations of People's Act 1950, and second one is 1951. Okay, so okay, then it becomes functional, like the framework, detailed framework of this. Let me cover some of the provisions of these acts, because election commission gets all the authority and the power from these 2 acts. Okay, so first act, let's talk about that Representations of People's Act 1950. Okay, it has provisions of allocations of seats in Lok Sabha and legislative assemblies. Lok Sabha means about that member of parliaments, like constituencies, and the legislative assemblies about MLAs constituencies. Okay, and talking about allocation of seats. For example, if you talk about that Kerala states, Kerala has 20 seats, Lok Sabha seats. So it's a totally Lok Sabha seats. It's a totally depend upon the population of that particular geographical area, particular state. Okay, so maybe in the later later time, maybe the number of seats would be increased or decreased. It is totally dependent upon the population. Whether you talk about these Lok Sabha seats or legislative assemblies or anything for that matter. Okay. Another thing is mentioned there in that 1950s Act is delimitation of the constituencies, about the constituencies boundaries. Okay, how many villages, how many panchayats, districts comes under this. Okay, and then it comes to qualifications of the voters, whether their name is mentioned in the electoral roll or not. Okay, and manner of filling up the seats of Rajya Sabha by union territory representative, and any representative from the union territory. Okay. In what what process or manner their seats would be filled up in the, they are talking about that Rajya Sabha seats. Now let's talk about the Representations of People's Act 1951. Okay, the provisions of this act is to conduct elections to parliament and state legislatures, means MPs and MLAs and MLCs, whatever it may be. And even election commission means conduct, they can conduct elections of the president, okay, president or vice president for that matter. Okay, and these all are mentioned in this act of representations of the People's Act. Okay, and also this act also tells about the qualifications, disqualification, about the at what ground anybody, any candidate would be disqualified and qualified. Okay, various offences and various doubts and disputes. Okay, like model code of conduct and different things. Okay, all comes under this act, and who deals all these steps? Election commissioners. Here, before going to the election commissions appointment, let's take some examples of appointment. Okay, so let's talk about CBI. Okay, how CBI is like director of the CBI. Okay, any Central Board of Investigation, Central Bureau of Investigation. Okay, and example of hiring of the Supreme Court's judges. Okay, hiring or promotion of from High Court to Supreme Court, or transfer. Okay, so let's come to that page. Okay, here is the yeah, here is the explanation of this hiring process of CBI. Okay, actually CBI neither a like constitutional body, okay, nor a statutory body. Okay, it takes CBI derives its power from Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946. Okay, so CBI derives this power from this act. Okay, let's talk about the appointment of director of the CBI. Basically, a panel. Okay, a panel who appoints this CBI director of the CBI. Who all are in that panel? Basically, three-member committee consisting of Prime Minister, okay, as a chairperson, and a leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, and a Chief Justice of India. Okay, that means there are 3 persons: Prime Minister, leader of opposition, and a Chief Justice of India, of, Supreme Court, or any Supreme Court judges nominated by Chief Justice of India, if he is not able to present himself over there. Okay. Later on, some kind of amendment also happened. What happened? Because here, if you talk about the leader of opposition, it is totally depend upon the number of seats, how many seats are managed to gather into the election. It's a totally you need to fulfill that criteria. Okay, if you are unable to fulfill that criteria, then you cannot become a leader of opposition. So for that matter, a kind of amendment happened. Okay, then it got converted into single largest opposition party in the Lok Sabha. Whoever the party having the single largest seat, they can become a member of that panel to appoint director of the CBI director. Okay, and this is all about the hiring of CBI director. Okay, now let's move to another page about that. Just a moment here. Okay. Yeah, here it's mentioned about the hiring or transfer and all of Supreme Court judges. Okay, here it is mentioned. So there is a system called collegium system. In that under which under which in that system under which one appoints, promotion, transfer, all the things, whether you talk about the appointment or promotion or transfer of the judges of the Supreme Court are decided by a forum. Who decides? Forum. Who all are there in the forum? It is consisted of Chief Justice of India plus, they are talking about Chief Justice of India, just a moment, yeah, oh my God, Chief Justice of India and plus 4 of the senior most judges of the Supreme Court. Okay, then they would be able to appoint anyone into as a judge into Supreme Court. And basically they recommend that name to the government, then government decides it and they appoint it. Appointment happen, final appointment happened by the president. Now let's come to election commission or election commissioner. Okay, let's try to learn some basic things of it, election commission. Okay, basically if you talk about its tenure, okay, it works for 6 years. Okay, and age limit 65 years. So these are the basic functions. Okay, so earlier if you talk about during after 1950, okay, there used to be only one election commissioner. Okay, but later on, okay, during 1989, what happened? The age limit of voting, okay, got reduced. Earlier the age used to be 21 years, voting rights. And during this period, the age limit got reduced to 18 years. Okay, it was during Rajiv Gandhi's period. Okay, so what happened during this period, 1989? Because of this thing, reduction of the age limit, workload of the of the election commission also got increased. Okay, so a kind of situation got created to appoint another election commission. At that point of time, another election commission got appointed. Yeah, it was during 1989. Okay, and later on that thing also repealed, and later on after 1990s, okay, this kind of system came into existence, this in a proper way, at the top, Chief Election Commission and supported by 2 election commission. Okay, they are not subordinates. They are not subordinate. Actually, all the person, they all are colleagues, because they are having similar kind of rank, similar salary package and all the royalties and all. Okay, but whatever the decision they need to take, they take it they go through a kind of majority voting by themselves. Okay, yeah, till now we learnt about the appointment of the CBI director. Okay, who appoints it? A panel. Okay, who all are in the panel? Okay, PM plus leader of opposition plus Chief Justice of India. Okay, and about judges of Supreme Court. Okay, who has done a forum of collegium. It's called collegium system. Who all are there? Who all are there in that collegium system? CGI, Chief Justice of India, plus 4 senior most judges of the Supreme Court. Okay, so these are the process of appointment of these 2 different bodies. Okay. Now let's talk about the appointment and the main controversial thing of today's news. Okay, like the appointment. Okay, appointment of election commissions. Okay, so what do you think? What would be the process? Yeah, to tell you the process, let me explain it in a layman term. Here, just assume that these are area where all the retired IAS officers comes under this area, okay, like these are, for example, these are 200 in numbers. Okay, 200 IAS, retired IAS officer, or any person who has already qualified UPSC and later on they become a secretary or any member of the UPSC board. Okay, they can also become chief election commission or election commission. Okay, so these are the retired IAS officer, and here it's a government. Gov consists of what? PM, okay, and plus council of ministers headed by PM. Okay, and here is the president. Just a moment, president. Okay, so here is the process of hiring election commission, appointment, basically appointing election commission. Okay, government just recognize anyone for that matter. For example, government likes this person. Okay, government likes this person. Okay, government states to president, okay, hire this person. Okay, and president hire this person, means appoints this person. So this is the process to hiring election commission of India. So now, like anybody would suggest among these 200 retired IAS officers, so definitely they would suggest anyone who is their favorable. This is nature of any human being. Okay, and because of this reason, question gets raised time to time, and this process is existing since 1947, like after independence. Things are like this body, like during 1950 it came into existence, this election commission. Since then the process of appointing election commission is going through only this process. Okay, so now it's up to you, analyze whether it can be one of your questions, whether keeping in mind the process of hiring election commission, okay, can anybody expect that they would conduct free and fair election? Okay, and the examiner would ask you what? Analyze or critically analyze. Okay, so this is a question, because India is one of the biggest democratic country, and in those kind of country who is having biggest democratic nature, and the process of election or the appointment process of election commission happens in this direct way. So do you think that this is proper, or there should be some kind of reform, okay, into the appointment process of the election commission? Till date only one election commission, whose name is T.N. Session, okay, who showed a kind of good example to all the coming generations, and even including all the students. When it comes about the election, writing about anything, any AC or anything about election commission, they give example of this, because they showed the actual power of election commission. Okay, they didn't compromise with anything. Okay, so now just analyze the process of hiring election commission is proper or not. Okay, if not, what kind of reform should be there? If yes, then why? Give me your points. So this can be one of your questions. You can write into answer writing or anything for that matter, essay writing or anything. Okay, so let's come out now. So guys, how about the video? Any feedback which you would like to share here? Okay, If you like the video, please subscribe this channel and also press on the bell icon so that you could get similar kind of conceptual videos notification.